ऐसे बोल दो कि
So, hello everyone. So, we'll be starting in 5 minutes. So, if any of your friends have not joined yet, you can call them and remind them and tell them to join fast. So, our guests have already joined. So, tell your friends to join fast so we can start with the session. So, we'll be starting our session at 45. So, everyone call your friends so that we can start the session without any further delay. So, hello everyone. Now I request the guests to turn on their cameras so we can formally start with the session. Prakhar Bhaiya and Siddhant Bhaiya, can you turn on your videos?
Hey, hi. Can you hear me?
हाँ भाई.
Yeah. So,
Hello. Yeah.
Hello.
Am I audible?
हाँ भैया.
Oh,
So, good evening everyone. Myself Spurti, uh, Student Guided Career Council. I hope you are all doing great. So, I'm thrilled to welcome you all to this eagerly awaited session where we'll answer all your questions about the SDE placement preparation in the remaining time left, and will help you in that path. Next, so before we dive in, let me give you a quick overview of what the Career Council actually does. So, at the Career Council, our mission is to support students like you in navigating your career journeys. So, we offer a range of resources and programs. Like, we conduct programs like Acing Placements for giving strategies for successful placements, and also acing internships for securing valuable internships. And our other initiatives include intern diaries, placement diaries, career bootcamp, and AMA sessions. So our today's session is a part of one of our initiative, which is acing placements. So for this, we have two of our seniors, Prakhar Agarwal Bhaiya, who is placed in Wells Fargo, and Siddhant Jain Bhaiya, who is placed in Sukhi AI for SDE role. So now I'd like both of you to introduce yourselves.
hey, hi everyone. This is Prakhar Agrawal. I was in Material Science Department and currently working in Wells Fargo. And I also interned in Amazon in summer. Yeah. So that's pretty much it about me.
hello everyone. This is Siddhant Jain, and currently I'm working in Sugi.ai uh, for the past 2 months. And I have interned. I'm from CSC branch, and I've interned in digital technologies as a data science intern. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you for the introduction, Maya. And firstly, a very warm welcome to both of you, and a hearty congratulations to both of you. And we are delighted to
Thank you.
have you
Thank you.
here with us today. So now the audience will be asking you their doubts. So I'd like to hand over the session to you and proceed with it.
Yeah, you can go ahead. Ask any question, whichever you like. There's no stupid question or such.
So now I request the audience to please unmute themselves and ask their questions, whatever doubts they have.
Hello,
Yeah. Someone speaking, I
hello,
guess.
Bhaiya. Am I audible?
Yeah. Yeah, you are.
Bhaiya, Bhaiya, I want to ask that what is the importance of competitive programming in the SDE role? Means how you crack your online coding test and interviews, etc. Please, can you tell?
You are in currently in which year? This year you will be
Second
sitting
year.
in placement or in next year? Oh, you are in second year. Okay. So, see, for competitive programming, actually the year in which year is dependent. Like you are in second year, so you have lot of time. So initially you should go for competitive programming only, because it will increase your speed and all, get familiarized with the contest and different topics which can be asked like that. Afterwards, you can switch to lead code and all. Yeah. Siddhant, if you want to add something, maybe.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, if you have enough time, if you would have been in third year, I would have said to focus on TSA and lead code and everything.
Yeah.
But as you have enough time, so you should focus on competitive programming, and to a certain level, competitive program is very useful. Actually, it opens your mind to like different kind of problems. So initially, you should focus on with
A2
competitive
you can
programming.
start with.
Yeah, it's yeah, you can go on and start with it, but yeah, later on you can move on to DSA when you have like let's say limited time and you want to revise everything and every concept has to be revised. So then you can move on to DSA.
I would say like if you are just starting out, so first you should learn about like STL and stuff because without that you can't even attend the contest and all. So you will feel depressed if you cannot solve any question. So without first go and learn basics like STL and all, and after that you can start with A and B problem and further increase your uh, level, like concurrently learning different topics. Yeah,
And don't wait to like learn to a certain level. Don't think, never think that you don't know enough to start with something or not. Like
Yeah,
don't
I am
think like you
actually
have to
doing
learn.
competitive programming past 5 months.
Okay,
oh,
then that's good. Yeah, that's
uh,
nice. And yeah, then you can focus on the CP for a little more time, and then move on to DSA and other topics for your placements. So you would have intern uh,
third
interviews. You
year I
were
guess, no?
that would be starting now. You are in the third year starting or second year starting?
Second year starting, भैया.
Oh, second year. Then you have time. Then you have more than enough.
I guess
भैया then went to
for
development.
uh, development you can do in summers.
Development is something you can, yeah, you can do. If there is some
For
particular technology or something that you want to learn, you can go on a learn in parallel and also if you want. But yeah,
Hello, Bhaiya, am
that's
I
up to you.
audible?
Like
yeah, as
yes, yes.
in intern they do not expect you to learn too much. So for the internship you can just make small projects and that will work. But in placements they expect some of the tech stack. So yeah, yeah. Someone
Thank you
asking
so much, भैया.
something. Hmm. Yeah, Aditya, I guess Aditya is asking something.
Hello, Bhaiya, am I audible?
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
Bhaiya, how can someone with a low CPI ensure a good placement in SDE?
you are in which branch?
Civil,
Civil. Okay. And second year you are.
fourth year, Bhaiya.
Uh, oh,
Okay.
so you will be sitting in this placement season,
Hello, Bhaiya.
right? You will be sitting in this placement season.
Yes, Bhaiya.
Okay. Uh, the CPI, I would say it matters, but not up to that mark. Like it will be a qualifying criteria. Above it is fine. Like you would be sitting for most of the companies.
So the CPI
And
thing is actually, yeah, yeah. If you were saying something.
yeah, no, go ahead, continue. I will know.
So actually, the CPI thing is mainly the problem for qualifying the criteria for tests. Mainly, the first problem that CPI causes. But at this moment of time, you're in fourth year. There's nothing much you can do about CPI. So I would suggest that stop thinking about that part and move on to the opportunities that you are getting and the like if you don't have enough in a very good CPI, then everything comes down to your technical skills. Like you have to impress the interviewer you have to perform well in the test. Then only you can many people don't have enough CPIs, but yeah, in my batch as well, they got plays. It's not that bad. Just focus on your technical skills and move on with that. I would suggest just don't think about it. Yeah, like I know many people continuously like they give up on just because of their low CPI. But yeah, there are most of the companies don't have any criteria for CPI. Like there are some companies who will have a criteria of 8, but there are many of the companies who don't have a criteria for CPI. And for those who at this moment of time might be showing on the portal that they have a criteria, you can ask your TPRs to to talk to the company and lower that criteria. Mm. So stay in touch with the TPRs, and that won't be a problem much.
Yeah, I also agree. Same. Because you cannot not do anything at this moment. So I would say, like, if you are not able to sit for 10 companies, so don't focus on that. Like, you will be able to sit for most of the companies. Like, um, maybe don't I will not name them, but yeah. So focus on them. Your coding skills are what matters, not your CPI. Yeah, in the test actually. Yeah.
So, Bhaiya, like, can you tell the strategy you followed for the like SDA roadmap or the resources you followed and all, like the strategy and something?
See, it depends on how much time do you have. So if you are starting early, like if you are in second year or first year, so you have lot of time. So you can go with competitive programming in start. Then as the time progresses, you should also make projects in between, and closer to your online assessments, you should shift your focus to lead code and DSA part, and also um, uh, the contest part, like giving regular contest is very important throughout your journey.
Yeah, I agree actually. For the students in first year and second year, they have a lot of time. They can start slow. Don't think that we'll do it later. Just start slow. Just solve 2 3 problems a day. That would be more than enough for those who especially in first year. Like start slow, and uh, the main key will be to be regular, yeah, for those things, for those people. But uh, for the fourth year people who basically I going to sit in this placement, so they should more basically focus on the DSA part. If you have very less time, if you have done nothing before that, just focus on the interview bit or something. Select only good questions that only needs to be done. There are a lot of resources available on the internet. That the resources part, I'll say, depends on the individual itself. But there are resources which are good to everyone, which most of the people find helpful. But that depends, yeah, on your condition, the time, the amount of time you have, and the preparation you have had before that. So for now, especially those who have who are very less prepared until now, just focus on the different topics. Don't leave out topics except for the some of the uh, very
Advanced
difficult
topics.
topics. Yeah, very advanced topic. Just forget about them. Complete all of the basics. Don't think that I'll just do the mastery in dynamic programming and then only move to graph. That's not required. Most of the time, you will require only a certain level of dynamic programming and more certain level of graphs and certain level of. But you don't need to be a master in any of particular thing. Just you have to broader have a broad knowledge of different topics. Only after having a broad knowledge you can deep dive into something. So if you have less time, I'll probably recommend you to focus on different topics and cover most of them.
So, like for a fourth year, like how can you make the best out of this 2 to 3 months, like in the terms of preparation and study, like the best, like in this
I
two
would
to three months?
Yeah, I would say regularly give contests. Like you should also attempt the virtual contests, which are already gone, but you should attempt them. Like, and whichever problems you are not able to solve, I would say you revisit that topic, solve 4 5 more questions related to that topic or that combination of topics, because there can be combination of topics also. So yeah, And I would say this time you should also revise on the core CS concepts like OS, DBMS, and all, because once the test starts, you will not get time. And after that, uh, you will also get only 10 days of time in November to complete all your preparations, including the coding part, also the core concepts, which are important for the yeah, OS and DBMS part also comes in the OS also. So if you have not done them till now, I would say you should complete it before the OA. That will help you, because in
Yeah,
one go you cannot understand everything if you are non-circuital. That's my personal advice. Yeah.
yeah, I agree actually. Focus more on DSA part. If you have like 3, 4 months remaining, you don't have much time. Focus on the important questions, important that are very repetitive. There are a lot of questions that are very repetitive, like similar concept-based questions are getting in many of the company's tests. So focus more on that. You can easily find it in the lead code. Try to give the lead code contests. They are like very good contests. They are basically once in a week. Focus on that, don't miss out that. And you can give some other websites contests as well, which are more DSA based as compared to CP based. So that will help you as you have very less time at this moment. And one thing, and one more thing, that I'll highly recommend you to make notes. Like, this might not seem a very good like, you might not think that it's a very good idea as of now, but you will realize it later. Because if even I totally agree with Prakat that you should go on to the core concept of CS, like OS, DBMS, and SQL queries. That is, SQL queries is very one of
Yeah.
the very important topic you should focus on. You should focus on that. But eventually, when you are continuously giving tests for some days, for a month or so, you will definitely forget all of that SQL and DBMS that you have studied. That is going to happen, and you won't have time to watch the 3 or 4 hour video again. That's a
Yeah.
fact that happens with everyone, and there is nothing bad in that. Now what you need is a short way to revise it, so that you just look at it and just everything comes back to you. You have studied it once. So what you need is a simple revision, and the note and your by yourself written notes will help you very much in that. So just make a like it's a 4 hour if it's a 4 hour video on SQL, let's say, then if you are if you are making notes, it'll take 6 hours or 7 hours. I agree with that, but that's a investment that will help you later on very much, especially at the interviewer time. uh, as Prakhar said, at the interview time, you have very less time. Like, you have basically, like, as I remember, there were tests on 28th or 29th November as well.
Yeah.
We had interview on from 12 o'clock on 13th November, and we were giving tests on 28th and 29th. So yeah, in that time, you can't miss out tests, and you can't, if you don't have many shortlists, you can't miss out on tests, and you have to give interviews as well. So managing that is very important. So for that, you need some kind of shorter way to revise everything in a single go to. So I'll highly recommend that is one thing that helped me a lot. So I'll highly recommend you for you to do that. And if you need some resources on OS things, OS and DBMS and SQL, that you can find on internet, that depends on you. Like, most of them covers maximum things. But for SQL, I can recommend one thing. For SQL, who need to practice in SQL, go on to lead code. Just do it. Has 50 questions basically. Do that. That will be more
Also,
than
the
enough for.
interview bit SQL is also nice. I followed that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, one more thing I would add, like do not access the notes that are available online. Like you think that you will understand everything from others' notes, but I in my case actually what I prefer is making my own notes, because that will be helpful afterwards. Because others' note you can understand now, but you will definitely forget it, and after that it will take same amount of time that took now. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Prakash. That's true. You others note don't rely on others notes. Like there are lots of channels which provide notes as well, but even those notes are very long and time consuming. So focus on your own made notes.
Or else also one thing what I have done was like I took the printout of the notes and added my own stuff on the page. That you can do if you like. Yeah.
Hello, Via. Hello.
Yeah, you are audible. Yeah.
Hello.
Go on.
Yeah, I am currently in fourth year, and at that and I'm in non-surgical branch. And at this
Okay.
moment, I have not done that much web deal. So how can I manage that in the remaining time?
Sorry, what you have not done? I
Till
didn't
I
get that.
till now I have not done that much of web deal.
Web development.
Yeah, can I
Actually,
manage that at this moment of time?
do you have projects like your projects are based on?
Hello, Vishal.
Sorry, Via, there is a network issue around me. Current now. I'm traveling current now.
Okay, okay. So I would say like web development part is all important in interviews. No one will be asking you any questions in OAs regarding the web development part. So what you can focus is if you have certain matlab, medium level projects also works in interview because they didn't expect you that much. If you have like in my interviews, they never asked about my project. Just they were interested in the functionality that I know how the system works. That only they are interested in. So if you have not made a great project or something like that, but you know the core concepts of the web development, like you know how why we exactly use React. Like the questions will be like why you have used this only, not why not that part. So yeah, you should be understanding why this is important, not why we have not used that. Like there can be a question like why you have used React, why not Angular? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, go on with that. Basically, focus on you can work if you don't have any projects or done by yourself. You can like focus. You can give a week or something to that. Like not a whole week completely to that, but take out some time and make a small project by yourself. If you have some projects, just focus on revising that and knowing it from end to end. That is very important because interviewer all ask you like why you have used this particular template, why you have used this, and why, and also like what are the security that your let's say website is providing, and all that kind of question. You should have a like a medium level answer prepared for that. You should have a understanding, and we know that some of you might be putting out some other people's projects. So
Hmm.
even if you're doing it, do it wisely, I would say. At least do
It
it
should feel
wisely.
like you have done it. It
Yeah,
should feel like,
exactly.
yeah.
You don't need to know the code. No one is going to ask
Hmm.
you the code of the
Yeah.
project, but they are going to ask you the knowledge whether you have done it or not. For that, you have must have end-to-end knowledge of that project. That how I did it, what part of how did I connect it front end and back end, how what part of something is being used in the other thing. Like just a thorough output. So you should have an understanding of that even if you're faking it. So if you're
I would
faking it,
say
fake it
in two
wisely, I
words,
would say.
yeah. I would say in two words, like what and why you should know. Like what you have used for and why you have used that in short.
So, Bhaiya, like what kind of questions are asked in interviews? Like what level of questions one should expect in interviews from any topic?
I, I would say that
See,
depends on the company.
yeah,
That basically
I
depends on
totally
the
agree.
company. Yeah, actually, but one thing is one thing we should keep in mind that most of the companies will ask you a certain level of question. They won't go into very higher, deep, dangerous level of CP questions. That is the truth. Most of the company don't do that. Only less. If you are giving a interview of sprinkler, then it is expected that sprinkler will ask some dangerous questions. That that is like the known to everybody. But if you're going with a like any other company, even with I would say even or Micro or any other, then no, they don't ask you like very high level. A certain level is required, I agree, but they won't go into much deep, and they won't like bully you into any questions. And keep that in mind. I would say in the interviews, keep on trying, because the interviewer is want you to solve the problem. That is always the case. I don't think there is ever the case that interviewer don't want you to solve the problem. Interviewer wants you to solve it. He will give you hints. He will help you very much in the interview to let you solve the problem. So go on with that. And the level of question there depends on the company. I would highly recommend you to, if you are like let's say shortlisted in any of the company, go on, ask the previous year selected students in that company. Go on, ask their interview experience. You can find it on our placement website as well, and on the Geeks for Geeks, and everywhere it's available. But if you have a alumni in that, go on and ask him personally. They will be more than happy to answer you, I'm sure. And go on and ask them personally how they prepared for that interview. That would help you very much. So the questions are depends on
And
the company, but yeah, you go.
yeah, yeah. So Siddhant told you about the technical round. I will add on the managerial round. Like there, it depends on the company. Like most of the company actually take two rounds. One is technical and one is managerial. So in managerial round, they mainly focus on your resume part, like whatever you have mentioned in your resume. So you should never lie in your resume. Like at this time, you must be making your resume. So you should focus it now. Like you think like I will study this at that time. So don't do that. I would suggest, because you will not get time to study from scratch. And if you lie in resume and interview will catches you, then you are done there only. And
Then it's bad.
uh, uh, and also prepare not they will not go in the technical details of your internships or the project. They will ask what learnings you got, what the tech stack on and all, what challenges you faced, what like if you are working in team, they can ask you like two problems you face during your teamwork or something like that. Also, they may ask like OS, the core concept in the managerial round. And also, the HR questions are very important. The students take it lightly, like we can do it, but you should go prepared for HR questions too. On spot answers. If you are not prepared, like for a question, you have prepared some answers, so you can translate that a question into b answering the question of the interviewer. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with the HR. I totally agree with Prakar actually. The HR part is something that students are supposed to miss out, but don't miss out on that. And I'm telling you this, the like remember this, the rejection from an HR round hurts the most.
Even in my company, they rejected 4 people out of 6. So
Yeah,
you can
exactly.
understand
Even in
what
my
is the
company,
pain
they
in getting
took,
rejected after HR round
yeah, yeah.
at 4 in
Even
the
in my company,
morning.
they took five. Yeah, at
Yeah.
4 in the morning, they took five people's HR round, and they rejected two
Yeah.
of them. So those two, that is very
Yeah. Uh,
heartbreaking. So believe me, HR rounds are important, and for the MTech students, as I was ITD, so there is one very common question asked. Be prepared for that. If you are whether you are going for further studies or not, because if you are doing MTech, interviewer might think that you will leave their job in some months and go for higher studies. So have a proper answer prepared for that, that you don't that clarifies clarifies the interviewer very clearly that you don't want to go to the higher studies. It doesn't matter whether you
Also,
want to go or not, because if you
yeah,
want the job, you have to convince him that you don't want to go to higher studies. That is very important, believe me.
yeah.
So
Also, like if you have done internship in some company, they might ask you whether they provided PP or not. Why you have not joined that company? This is most common question. They, uh, if you have, like I was intern in Amazon. I already knew I will be facing this question. Why you rejected such a big company like that? So you must have prepared some answer on spot. You cannot think on for this type of question.
So focus on the HR questions more. Write them down,
Yeah.
whatever you think that could be asked out of your resume, because everyone has different resumes and there are different type of questions that could be asked to you. So, like apart from general HR questions, have a answer prepared for that as well. But apart from them, focus on some of the your resume based questions and think of yourself. You will if you look at your resume for some time, read it throughout once or twice, you realize that this is the part that this could be asked or this could be asked. So prepare for those questions.
And always try to show that uh, your goals align. Like you can find this or somewhere else also, like how to answer HR question. Just an advice, like research about the company and try to make your goals in that sense only, because you want to show that at interviewer that you want to join the company. It is your dream company as such. Yeah.
But don't lie. Don't stretch your lives too far.
Yeah. Like it
Yeah, keep
he
it
can
subtle.
catch your lie.
Try to keep
Yeah,
this.
it
Yeah,
should
you
be
try to keep
believable.
it subtle. Yeah, like just adding something in your sentence that you like. Let's say health industry. If the company is about health industry, if the company is about finance, you are interested in finance. Just add in between.
And if you saying like in my case, if it's Wells Fargo or financial domain, so if you mention like you are interested in finance domain, he may ask some finance domain question also. So be
Yeah, what
prepared
you
for
have
that.
done in finance and all.
Yeah, why you like finance and all. Yeah, not the technical questions, just why.
So, what is the weightage of topics like OOPS, DBMS, and system design in the interviews?
Yeah,
In
system design
managerial
is
round, it is asked mostly. Yeah, go on.
for system design part, I would say very less companies ask for it. And yeah, and regarding system design, I can definitely tell you one more thing. There are certain system designs question which are asked by the interviewers. They are just like predefined. Even if you are going for, if you have time to study system design, okay, do it. But go for those questions that are mainly asked in you can find it on internet easily. But while answering those questions, while writing down and answering those questions, remember this: the interviewer wants your approach to that question as well. The interviewer knows this, that this question's answer is available on the internet. That is like very true. The interviews are basically 2 3 years pass out most of the times. So if they are asking system design, they know that this question is available. Question's answer is available on the internet. So add a realistic touch to your answer. Like if you are, let's say, it could be any question in system design. What is your approach to that question? Add that to to answer as well. So it doesn't look like that you have just learned the answer from internet and copied it. Man, I know many of the people getting rejected just because of this. That's why I'm telling you, you should know the answer, but you should have a realistic touch as well. It should not look like that you are just copying it from internet. It's in your mind and you are just uh, blabbing it to the interviewer. That should not be the case.
Also, sometimes the interviewer asks you the on-spot question based on your answer. Like on in my case, there was a real-time application-based question based on multi-threading. So you have to think on spot also. So you must have, if you are learning bookish knowledge only, then you cannot think for the on-spot question. So you must have proper understanding of the core subject, core topics of, like in OS, I would say most importance are multi-threading and all, and deadlocks. Deadlocks is the most asked question, I would say, in OS.
Yeah, apart among all these, I would say OS is very, very important. And DBMS and SQL are very important if you have a project based on them. Remember this, if you have a project based on DBMS and SQL, interviewer will definitely ask you a question based on that. Because it's an important topic, and it gives edge to the interviewer that you know this. So definitely he'll ask you on that. So focus on that. If you have anything on your resume, definitely go for that first. Then apart from that, I would say priority wise, OS is very important, and OOPS is important. Only certain concepts. As I said, have a broad knowledge first, then deep dive into it. So you should have a basic knowledge of what is virtual function, what is abstraction and all this. So those are the basic questions that will be asked. So this is also very common that interviewer asks you a basic question on a topic first, and if only if you answer it, then he'll go on to move on to a good question. So like if you forget what abstraction, is not going to ask you the deep dive question that whose answer which you might know. So you should have the basic terminologies very, very clear to yourself. So
And
go on
also,
with that.
whatever you will answer now, from the words you will use, the next question will be based on that only. Most of the times, the follow-up question. So think, choose your words very
Yeah, if you don't know
intelligently.
a meaning of
Uh,
some
uh,
word, don't use it.
uh,
Don't tell interviewer to ask you that question.
yeah.
So can you like share some
Hello.
particular experience? Okay, continue, Himanshu.
Yeah, actually, do we need good projects for interns, or means it is meant for placement only?
I
Sorry,
would
I
say
didn't get.
basic projects. Yeah. Can you repeat, yeah, once more?
I'm actually asking that do we need good projects for interns, और विश्व और बेसिक आसानी से चल जाएगा बिना प्रोजेक्ट्स के लिए.
Yeah, want to take? Go
Yeah, I was just saying that
on.
you for some, yeah, what is your value of resume if you don't have like a basic project? You should have a basic project, because interviewer needs something to ask now. If he's looking at a resume, there must be something that he can ask on. So some base for
Basic
intern,
ML
I would
project for
say
ST role.
just one, two, three. Should I include basic ML projects for SD roles? Yeah, it's
Yeah,
fine if you
that
have
works.
ML projects. Yeah, the projects are important. If you have a project in ML, go on, include it in your resume. It doesn't mean that you are not tilted toward SD or something. So I would say definitely add it into your resume. And if you have like, let's say, 5 or 6 projects, and one is ML and rest of them are based on development, then you should obviously go for development. And think about and in terms of projects, think about it. Which of your project is like has the most intriguing thing. Like I had one of the project that worked on complaint management. So for a whole institute, which of your project basically has more capability to impress someone? Think about it in that terms. So you'll find that if you have only a, let's say if you write 3 projects in your resume, the only that one project will matter. The whole discussion of your interview will come down to that one project, if that is enough good project. So focus on that particular part, I would say. And basic one or two projects, basic 2 projects are more than enough in any of the intern resume for your intern, I would say.
Okay, भैया.
Prakhar,
Thank
anything you want to add?
you.
No, no, I totally agree. Yeah, it's fine.
So, like, if you encounter a problem during the interview, like you don't know something, like how should you approach it?
See, if you first of all, whatever you don't know, don't mention it in your resume. If something comes like that, like if you don't know computer networks, so inform the interviewer you don't know. If you leverage like time pass of uh, time pass the time, then it will be a bad uh, impression on the interview. Like you are not knowing the topic, but also wasting his time, kind of. So it will that is bad. So if you don't know, just say it. Like I have not focused on this that much, but I assure the interviewer like you can go on if there is requirement in the company.
Yeah, remember this very well that interviewer has also very less time for you for him to conduct the interview. If he's been told to conduct it for half an hour, he has to complete in half an hour. Now that depends on you whether you want to keep him occupied with topics that you don't know, or focus on the topics that you know about. So it's up to you. Think about it. If you don't know about something, and interview is helping you to answer. If you have some idea, try to answer it. But you have uh, basic zero idea, no idea about that particular thing, just clearly tell the interview that I have not worked on that. It's as simple as that. Because the your time is very important, because that only you have only that hour. Don't think if that interview is going to be conducted for that hour, half hour. Think it like that you have only half hour to impress that interviewer. It's as simple as that.
Samir, you are in which year?
Hello.
Familiar.
Hi, Via. My question is for the students from non-CS background, how should they utilize their last month to bridge the gap in their knowledges?
Sorry, I didn't get the question. Can you repeat?
Uh, I'm actually saying that for the student from non-CS background, how
Yeah.
should they utilize their last month to bridge their gaps in their knowledge
In
in
terms
the
of core
common
concepts
topics and
or
something like
the DSA?
that? In terms of DSA and some extra topics like OA, SOOPs, maybe something like that.
I would say if you haven't completed OS and DBMS, I already mentioned like you will not get time afterwards. So I would say take out some time of now only. Like you can dedicate 1 or 2 hours daily for OS and DBMS, because after October you will not get time, because in one day you will be having two tests or something like that. So if you don't have any idea about the core subjects, you should do it now. And the DSA part, I would say you should, if you, I will say like if you are in final year and sitting for the SDE placement, you must be having a core idea like what are different topics, what are important and all. So I would say the more important topics you should focus on them, and keep giving contests. Uh, yeah. Lead code contest you can focus on mostly, because in final year you do not have time for CP.
Yeah, for the Samir asked a question. Yeah, as of now, I think you should focus more on lead code as compared to code forces. You have very less time, and you have like not done much of. You have don't have a very good knowledge of DSA. I would say definitely focus on lead code and try to sort them by the number of times this that question has been solved and the difficulty level. So for more focus more on lead code as of now. Lead code, and if you have
This can
even
be
if you have
also
even
for
less time,
completing the PPR
you can
round.
go on to interview bit.
You can use in interview. You can show your alignment with the company values and all. Like if you are rejecting a PPO, so why? What is better in this company compared to that company? But never falsify anything like that company was something like उसको बुरा नहीं दिखाना है, I would
Yeah,
say.
exactly.
हाँ
Don't talk
हाँ
bad about any company.
हाँ
That remembers this. Like if you are talking bad about some other company to them, then they know that you will talk about them to some other company as well.
yeah, that is a big no.
Yeah. So definitely don't go for that. And can you please suggest
CSC topics, CSC
related topics
management,
you should
maximum
maximum?
ways.
uh, Okay.
Actually, it depends on, like in our years, there was no question, very less questions on DPs. Like the companies I gave, I was focusing on DPs and graphs and all, but they ask priority queues and implementation based questions. So for every year, it is
Priority queue is very,
different.
very important.
Uh,
Remember this,
yeah, it
priority
is
queue is
very
very, very
important.
important. You must know where when to apply it, because many of the times you won't realize it's being done by priority queue. But yeah, uh, for the important topics, I would say yeah, DP is important. Like DP eventually comes up in some way or other. DP and graph, focus on that. Don't go. I would say arrays first. Firstly, go with arrays. Arrays are very, very important because that will make your basic for the DP as well. Go with arrays and like just have a basic knowledge of two pointers and all. Uh, they might not come in very, very handy, but you should have a knowledge of that. Priority queue, as Prakhar mentioned, is very, very important. Highly, highly recommended. So try to focus on that, and you must know the time complexity and everything you are studying about, because most of the time the time constraint that you have in a question very, very matters. So yeah, DP, graph, array, and priority queues, a bit of stack and queue. That is fine if you know that. Do the standard question of each topic. Remember this. This is very, very common, and this is very, very lightly taken by many students. Highly recommended to do basic questions of stack and queue as well. Even if that is not very important, the basic question can be asked and very frequently. So focus on that
And
as well.
I would also say, like, if you have proper knowledge, like deep knowledge of common topics, you can start with advanced topics also, because in like binary lifting is very important. This will give you edge in the uh, uh, big companies, like which ask harder, whose OS are on hard side. So it will give you an edge in that part. So the advanced topic like segment you can go binary lifting and all different, which we usually do not cover up. So if only go for them if you have strong grip on common topics like DP and graph and combination
Okay,
of different topics.
so we have
Yeah,
two questions. Samir has done a driver seat and lead code. So, yeah, I would say definitely you should, if you have done this much, uh, continue revising it. DSA is something that you forget in a month or two if you don't revise it. DSA is that kind of thing. So, keep on revising that. And apart from that, if you have done the style sheet and lead code, you should, if you have not done any computer like CS based topics like OS and SQL and DBMS and all, focus on that. It's your last year, so you can like revise some of the development concepts as well that you might have studied in the past. You can stronger your resume as well, and keep on practicing with that. And CSCS sheet worth it.
definitely,
Yeah, it's
bro.
worth it. It's worth it. Believe me,
Sometimes
it's worth
you
it.
see, sometimes you see same questions arrive in OA. Too common.
Like I would tell you why CSCS sheet is worth it, because it has let's say you are doing DP, it has every variety of questions of DP in it. That's the power of CS, and to us, not that easy questions, a certain level of questions. So you can definitely go for CSCS if you are interested, and don't go for CSCS the whole. You can't do complete a whole CSCS in such a less time. Focus on the important topics, and especially on your weak topics. If you think that DP is your weak or graph is your weak, focus on that part of CP from
If
CSCS.
One topic I would say graph is very good on CSES. If you
Yeah,
do,
definitely
uh,
very, very good.
uh, uh,
Yeah, and don't and from interview bit, graph is bad.
uh,
On interview bit, DP is very, very good of interview bit. I highly recommend that. But for graph part, I would highly recommend CSES. DP from interview bit is very good also. Yeah.
Siddhant, you can take that
Great.
CP journey part. I do not follow CP, so it does not relate to me. Yeah.
CP, like competitive programming, yeah, I did to a certain level, not much. I was interested in data science as well. So listen, in terms of CP, you need a certain level of CP, even if you're sitting in data science companies. For those people who are might be interested in data science, I would say a certain level of CP is required. Don't think it is not required. So if you, yeah, that depends on Himanshu. Which year are you in?
Second year, भैया.
Second, then
Then
you
so
have time. You
definitely you
can go
should
on.
go. Uh,
Yeah, go for CP. Improve. Yeah, that will open up your mind to
and
different kind of problems.
also the CP is important because there is a time restriction. So you have to think all the solution in that is very important. Like in what happened in my case, I knew the solutions for the question but cannot implement in the time frame. So CP helps you in that. Like if you practice CP contest, so you will develop a more understanding of how to write shorter code. Like yeah.
And Vamshi,
Yes, भैया,
apart
but
from DSA and aptitude,
I'm stuck at 1100 at core forces from 5 months.
Sorry, what?
I am stuck at 1100 at core forces. I'm just a newbie. So what should I do to increase my rating?
The 1100 at second year is very nice, bro. You are not stuck. You are just a step on your success. So, what I would say, have you followed like A to AJ? You can try up solving, like whichever concept contest you give. Try to up solve the questions. Like if you are not able to solve problem C or D in time contest time, you can dedicate your next day solving that particular question. So that will
yeah, I
be
agree.
helpful.
I agree with Prakar. Go for A2OJ. Definitely go for A2OJ. It has a certain proper way. Like it has, let's say you are stuck at division 2B question. Go on to that, solve some of the problems. Never leave a problem. If you have like if you can't solve let's say a C problem in a particular contest, go and look at the solution of it, solve it by yourself, give it another half an hour or something, but don't leave it. If you leave it, then you will never grow. You have to solve it. Only then you will know that these kind of problems can be solved in this way. So you have to don't leave any problem. And Vamshi asked if there is any other okay in online. Yeah, some of the
OSDBMS
companies
is
for
important.
yeah
Yeah,
OSDMS is important and also SQL. Some of the companies like especially
yeah.
as I remember, Vinjo
Optim,
asked
in Optim, there are
SQL question.
SQL question. In iLabs
Yeah,
also.
SQL question. Yeah, in High Labs also. Yeah, I remember. High Labs says
And
SQL
also there
questions.
may be some output type of question, like the code will be given. You have to think about what will be the output of the question. Yeah, that type of questions were also there in order.
Focus on major topics like in terms with DSA and aptitude. You should focus on SQL as well. Definitely go for SQL. I would highly recommend it. And
I
Pranay asked, I haven't done intern at a core company. Okay,
I would
600 of
say don't
core.
include your core company internship because that will direct your resume towards core, and you will direct the interviewer to ask you this question: why you are not pursuing your core side, and it does
Yeah,
not
I agree.
reflects a good point. Like so, I would say do not include your core internship. If you have done, I would say not projects also we should not include. Yeah. If
Avoid it.
yeah,
Try to avoid it as much as you can. Don't include your, especially internship. Don't include your internship means that you have worked on that industry, so you might be tilted toward it. So don't. OS,
And
CN,
OS,
DBMS, and
I
very
would say
more
OS is
priority.
most important, then DBMS.
OS, DBMS,
Uh,
then CN.
uh,
CN is asked
in
basically
between,
by very less
uh,
companies. There are
just
only a
Cisco ask,
number
I
of
guess.
2, 3 companies who ask this. Like Palo Alto is ask you computer network, and some
Cisco,
other companies as well. Yeah, Cisco. Yeah, Cisco will ask you. Only these 2, 3 companies will ask you computer networks. Most of the companies don't ask computer network, but OS is asked by nearly every company. Consider this. OS is very
also you
important, and
can
DBMS.
include oops in place of
Yeah,
CN. That is important.
yeah. Remove CL and focus on
Uh,
OOPS more.
I
OS,
have
then
never done
DBMS.
CN. Let's be frank. I don't
Yeah,
know
even
CN.
even I didn't study. I had knowledge about it. I'm from CS branch. I have studied it, but that wasn't required. Like, think about in terms of company. If you're going to an interview, think about what that company will ask. Just focus on that. For many people who are sitting in Cisco or Palo Alto, they have to focus on CN. They basically ask CN, I would say. But for rest of the companies, focus on OS, DBMS, and then OOPS definitely. I think people are more comfortable in asking question in chats.
Chat.
You can go on asking chat. Yeah, that's fine.
I think all are covered till now, no? Nothing we have left.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Mention.
covered everything. And for the Vishwaswarup Das, I would again say if you are going to study CN, DBMS or OS, make notes. You will definitely forget it after 2 months. You will remember this after 2 months that you are forgetting it. It happens to everybody. There's nothing wrong about it, but it's just human nature. You will forget it. Definitely, you will forget it after 2 months. And in mid, you won't get time to revise it. That is like the truth because when your tests start, it's just you give tests, come back home, then go again give tests. That's it. That's your whole day. So make notes, makes anything that you can to just revise it in a shorter way, whatever you find feasible for you.
Most of
So,
topic.
to,
Um,
okay.
in OS, I would say multi-threading, deadlock, and paging and all also maybe. No, paging is
Aging,
in DB.
thrashing.
Yeah.
Thrashing is very common question, I think. They
Uh,
ask, they don't go in deep, but they will ask you what thrashing is.
and in
Thrashing. So
DBMS,
yeah, for thrashing, you must have some knowledge of paging and as well. So
DBMS most important question: SQL versus no SQL.
yeah.
And hmm,
And the technologies you are working on,
uh,
if you have worked
uh,
on Firebase or something, Firestore or something, you must know whether it's SQL based or no SQL based. You must know that. That's like very, very basic question. So whether the database you have worked on is SQL, no SQL, and apart from that, in DBMS they have like basic concepts of DBMS, and yeah, I forgot that what is called. Yeah, normal forms. Focus on them.
uh, uh,
That's a very, 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 very common question. They'll ask you what are the normal forms for 1NF, 2NF, 3NF, and BCNF, I think it was.
yeah.
Forget. Yeah, so they'll definitely ask you for that. And they'll ask you one more thing which you should know. The project that you have done, if you have used a database, then you must know whether it is like in your project you have gone up to 1NF, 2NF, or 3NF. You should know this. They'll ask you this. It's a very common question. I think I was asked by one of the companies this question. And
You can
and
also follow like on interview with, I guess there's a list of questions. I guess that that is more not that great, but you can follow if you want.
and also read this topic, study this topic related to your resume. Like if you have worked on DBMS, how much you have worked on, what concept of premium has you used on your projects, which this can be asked. Okay.
I would say DP in graphs is important. Like DP in trees was asked in many of the OS. Segment trees is rare. Digit DP is rare. Binary lifting is rare. Like it was asked in sprinkler only, I would say. And
If you have,
just for if you
yeah,
have
go ahead, go ahead.
time, then only go do them. Like this will not be a major portion of OS. Just I would say 5 to 10% of companies will be asking this kind of advanced topics.
Yeah, but just think about this as this as well. If you have time, don't leave out on this. If you have time, I'm
Yeah.
again saying this. If you have time, because like if someone is asking a question from segmentary, let's assume this from perspective from a person who knows segmentary, that question is going to be very simple. They are not going to go into much depth of segmentary. If you know about segmentary, that's a very simple question. If you know about digitdp, that's a very simple question. So if you have time, you can just learn the basic concept. What is segmentary? It's not that difficult as it sounds. Like people have made it as it's very bad or it's very difficult. It's not that difficult. Just go and watch a video, do solve 3 or 4 problems, not many problems, as it's not very commonly asked. So if you have time, just go on to the basic question, do 1 or 2 basic questions, and then move on to the important topics. If you have time again.
And DP in graph is not included in advanced topic. It is a normal
Yeah,
topic.
it's a
You
common
should
question. Deep in graph and deep in trees.
uh,
Yeah, as
yeah,
Prakhar
that is
mentioned.
very important
Deep in
actually.
trees very. Yeah, that is important. DCTP is like not that much
Uh,
important. It's fine if you don't do it.
but if you have time, you can go for them because it will give you give you edge in
Yeah,
that
that's
companies.
very important. That yeah, if you solve a one question that like think about this as like most of the people won't be solving a question based on segmentary. Believe me, no man, most of the people, even I don't many test. So having a basic knowledge of segmentary, just a basic knowledge, just if you get if something is stuck, let's say you realize that, oh, this question can be done using segmentary, so you will have a very huge edge on that.
But you should not shift your focus. Like you have not done DP in that much detail. Like you are solving five
Yeah,
question of DP out of 10, and you are shifting to segmentary. That is not recommended.
focus on commonly asked question. You don't want to be a master in DP. You want job now. So focus on that.
In OOPS, I would say the most important topics are four pillars of OOPS that we call abstraction, inheritance, and all. Yes. Abs- Uh, yeah, pretty much that only. Like friend function, that if he wants to go in deep knowledge, then he will ask you friend function and all that stuff. That
There
is
is, and
rare.
also don't try to learn the
Mm.
code and all. Just know the
Yeah.
concepts is more than enough. There are basically one company out of let's say 40-50 companies that will ask you
OOPS.
the code of OOPS. They are not going to ask you.
So I guess the audience are done with their questions. Um, it was, in fact, an informative session. So I'm sure our audience now has a much better understanding of what the SD field is. So on behalf of the entire Career Council, I'd like to thank you both. Like I'd like to extend my heartfelt thanks to both of you, like for your valuable insights and expertise. Your guidance has been really helpful. So we appreciate the time and effort you both put into making this session really successful. So before
Yeah.
this ending the session, I would like to request all of you to turn your cameras on for a group photo.
Yeah, I
audience?
would also say like from attending these session to taking these sessions, so it is a quite a exciting journey for me. Yeah.
And if anyone has any question apart after this session as well, you can reach out to us. I think
Yeah,
Prakhar won't have any problem with that. Yeah. Yeah. Just reach out to us. Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. Just reach out to us anytime on LinkedIn or WhatsApp. Uh, we are your seniors, sir. We have been through what you have been through. So don't worry.
We were
And
also
as
on your
Prakhar
place
said in first, yeah.
to
And Prakhar, as Prakhar said first, no question is a stupid question. Go on and just be, I would say, बेशरम बनो और पूछो यार, ज्यादा मत सोचा करो. बस हाँ भाई यार कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. The most important thing is getting placement at this time. Just forget everything. Everything will come secondary if you get a placement. Believe me.
and also I would say like I know juniors. Uh, Sometimes I get a call from a junior that he is feeling depressed or like his peers are doing really great. Don't be depressed, kind of stuff. Because if you go like I am not able to do it right now, then it will not help you. It will more deteriorate your progress. So uh, peer group is important, but you should feel confidence from them. Like if they can do it, I can also do it. Not in a bad manner. Like I'm the worst one among all of them. Yeah. And like when the shortlist will come, you will feel what I'm saying. Like others will be getting the shortlist, but you will not be getting. Then do not panic in that situation. Just focus on the upcoming test. Yeah.
Just remember this: you need one good interview.
One. Yeah.
You don't need to have 10 interviews. One good interview will be suffice more than. Just remember this.
And for the second year guys or just who are just starting out, I would say consistency is your key. Like you should at least never leave your practice, because if you leave your practice of DSA for even 10 days, na, you will forget some of the concepts.
I don't think Spooty anyone's gonna open up their cameras.
Yeah.
So with this, I'd like to wrap things up. Like, thank you everyone. Like, thank you, Baya, for your valuable insights.
Welcome. Thank you.
Uh,
Bye.
Right.